Deep within the desolate landscape near the Dead Sea lies a city shrouded in mystery, Sodom. Known to many through ancient texts and biblical stories, this city has become a symbol of moral decay, divine judgment, and human excess. For centuries, explorers, archaeologists, and storytellers have sought to uncover its secrets, what life was truly like in this legendary place. Was it merely a city of vice, or something more complex, an ancient society with stories that challenge our understanding of morality, power, and rebellion? Today, we delve into the shadows of history to explore the untold stories of Sodom, focusing particularly on the women whose daring acts and mythic seductions continue to captivate and confound us. Sodom was more than a city of sin. At its height, it was a thriving cosmopolitan hub. Located along vital trade routes near the Dead Sea, it welcomed merchants, travelers, and cultures from distant lands. Archaeological evidence hints at a society rich in diversity, people of different ethnicities, religions, and social backgrounds. With wealth accumulated through trade and commerce, Sodom's streets echoed with the sounds of merchants bartering, artisans crafting, and residents engaging in daily life that was, by all accounts, vibrant and complex. But beneath this flourishing veneer lay a society that was often accused of moral laxity, where social norms were challenged, and boundaries pushed far beyond what was considered acceptable. Despite its reputation, or perhaps because of it, women in Sodom held positions of influence. They were not mere passive figures confined to domestic roles, many wielded power within their households and communities. Women traded goods, managed property, and sometimes played roles in religious or social rituals. Their visibility and agency made them central figures in the city's social fabric. These women, often noted for their beauty and charisma, could sway opinions, influence decisions, and challenge societal expectations, traits that would become central to the legendary stories that surround Sodom. Stories from ancient texts and legends often highlight the magnetic allure of Sodom's women. Their beauty was legendary, but it was more than skin deep. These women possessed an undeniable charisma. They could charm, seduce, and manipulate with their wit and charm, traits that made them both admired and feared. Their allure was seen as a tool of power, used to manipulate men, challenge divine authority, and push societal boundaries. Their seductive influence became a symbol of the city's rebellious nature, a city that defied divine commandments through acts of temptation and defiance. One of the most provocative and enduring legends involves women of Sodom seducing angels sent from heaven, messengers tasked with delivering divine judgment. These stories, often dismissed as myth or allegory, symbolize the city's profound defiance of divine authority. In these tales, women's beauty and cunning are so extraordinary that they tempt celestial visitors, challenging the very idea of divine order. Whether taken literally or metaphorically, these stories speak of a society that dared to challenge heaven itself, an act of rebellion embodied by these women's seductive power. The biblical account of Lot's daughters offers a glimpse into the moral complexities of Sodom's aftermath. Fleeing the destruction of their city, they make choices that continue to spark debate. Their actions, whether seen as desperate survival or morally ambiguous, highlight the blurred lines between morality and necessity. These stories serve as a reflection of a society where traditional boundaries were often challenged, and where women's roles, whether as victims or agents of action, became central to the narrative of Sodom's downfall. Some ancient stories depict women of Sodom not just as seductresses but as active participants in divine encounters. Tales tell of women who challenge or tempt heavenly messengers, beings of divine authority. Their wits, beauty, and daring are said to have influenced divine plans, either delaying judgment or provoking divine wrath. These stories elevate women from mere temptresses to agents who, through their actions, shape the divine narrative that ultimately leads to the city's destruction. Legend whispers of a woman whose seduction was so powerful that an angel, sent to punish Sodom, granted her immortality, an eternal wanderer between worlds. She became a symbol of rebellion, a mythic figure who defied divine justice through her beauty and cunning. Her story echoes through ages, an archetype of seduction, defiance, and the eternal human struggle against divine authority. Some ancient texts suggest that women in Sodom participated in secret rituals, possibly involving seduction, divine communication, or dark magic. These rites, shrouded in secrecy, may have been efforts to harness divine power or challenge celestial authority. Whether real or mythologized, they contribute to the perception of Sodom as a place where the boundaries between the sacred and profane blurred, a society that dared to explore forbidden realms. One of the most daring legends recounts a woman who, through her seduction, managed to delay the angel of judgment, buying time for her city or perhaps altering divine plans. Her audacity embodies the rebellious spirit of Sodom, an act of defiance that defies divine authority and questions the very nature of divine justice. Such stories underscore the complex interplay between morality, power, and resistance. Many stories suggest that women of Sodom played a crucial role in its downfall, not just as victims but as active agents of rebellion. Their refusal to accept divine law, their provocative acts, and their challenge to celestial authority may have contributed to the city's tragic destruction. These tales serve as a reminder that societal collapse often involves complex human dynamics, rebellion, morality, and divine justice intertwined. Daring tales tell of women who lured divine messengers into traps, seducing angels to deceive or delay divine punishment. These stories, whether literal or symbolic, portray women as powerful figures, challengers of divine authority, wielding their beauty and wit as weapons against celestial justice. Throughout history, artists and writers have depicted Sodom's women as embodiments of temptation, seductresses whose beauty and defiance symbolize societal chaos. These images, spanning centuries, reflect society's fascination and fear of women who challenge divine and moral boundaries, images that continue to influence our cultural understanding of Sodom. Some evidence hints at ritual prostitution or sacred acts involving women, practices that blurred the lines between religion, sexuality, and rebellion. These acts, whether ritualistic offerings or acts of defiance, contributed to Sodom's reputation as a place where moral boundaries were intentionally pushed, challenging societal and divine norms alike. Many scholars interpret stories of seduction as allegories, metaphors for human temptation, the allure of forbidden knowledge, and societal rebellion. These tales serve as warnings and reflections on the nature of desire and defiance against divine laws. Following Sodom's destruction, legends tell of women who vanished mysteriously, becoming spirits, divine messengers, or eternal wanderers. These stories fuel the mythic aura surrounding the city, reminding us that some stories are lost to time, transformed into legends of mystery and enchantment. From medieval morality tales to contemporary fiction, the women of Sodom have inspired countless stories, embodying temptation, rebellion, and tragedy. Their legends continue to serve as powerful symbols, warning us, challenging us, and reminding us of the enduring complexity of human morality. Some modern thinkers challenge traditional views, arguing that Sodom's downfall was rooted not solely in sexual depravity but in social injustice, greed, and inhospitality. Women's roles in these narratives are re-examined, revealing a society in upheaval, a society where moral codes were challenged from within. Throughout mythologies worldwide, rebellious women symbolize the human spirit's defiance, challenging divine authority and pushing societal limits. In many ways, the women of Sodom serve as archetypes, figures representing the eternal struggle against oppression, the desire for freedom, and the dangerous allure of temptation. Today, the stories of Sodom's women continue to resonate, challenging us to rethink morality, gender roles, and divine justice. Their legends remind us that history and myth are intertwined, and that the power of seduction, rebellion, and defiance remains as relevant now as it was thousands of years ago. These stories serve as both cautionary tales and celebrations of human resilience, forever echoing through the corridors of time. The stories of women in Sodom, who seduced angels, challenged divine authority, and defied societal norms, serve as powerful symbols of courage, independence, and the importance of questioning authority. While these stories are complex and layered with myth and morality, they remind us that standing up against injustice, exploring our desires, and challenging oppressive systems require bravery. In our own lives, we can draw inspiration from these legendary figures by having the courage to question unjust rules, speak out against unfair treatment, and pursue authentic paths, even when it means going against societal expectations. True strength often lies in moral bravery, listening to our inner voice, challenging the status quo, and standing firm in our values. Remember, while rebellion can be powerful, it must be tempered with wisdom and responsibility. The stories of Sodom's women teach us that the pursuit of truth, justice, and authenticity is a vital part of personal growth and societal progress. Be courageous enough to question, daring enough to challenge, and wise enough to act with integrity. Angels. Seduction. Judgment. This isn't the story you heard in Sunday school. Like if you were shocked, subscribe if you're curious for more. Balance scale, agree or disagree? Let's hear your take in the comments.